Welcome to TEAconf Talks, the podcast that dives into cutting-edge developments in triple entry accounting, or TEA. Today we'll explore how TEA can address critical challenges in auditing large language models, or LLMs, ensuring transparency, security, and accountability in AI systems. In this episode, I'm thrilled to welcome Konstantinos Sgantzos, one of the co-authors of Triple Entry Accounting as a Means of Auditing Large Language Models. We'll unpack how this innovative methodology uses blockchain to create a verifiable audit trail, combating misuse and ensuring intellectual property rights in AI, which of course are all incredibly topical at the moment. Just a quick reminder before we dive in. The second Triple Entry Accounting Conference is happening April 25th to 26th, 2025 in Malta. Head to TEAconf.org for details and tickets. Hi Kostas, thanks so much for joining us. Please could you introduce yourself and say a few words about who you are and what you do?
Thanks for the invitation. It's very exciting for me to be here, and it's very nice to see you again. I'm a theoretical physicist and biochemist. I own a Master's of Science in biology and bioinformatics, and my expertise is in cellular automata and AGI and how we can build one on a super secure environment like a blockchain. It's pretty much what I do the past 10 years. I am publishing papers about triple entry accounting and distributed ledger technology, and both of them, of course, as you know, is called blockchain now.
It's brilliant to have you on the podcast. For people who are less familiar with some of these concepts, let's start with the basics. Your paper discusses using triple entry accounting to audit LLMs. Can you explain what triple entry accounting is, first of all, and why it's particularly suited to this problem?
Sure. Triple entry accounting expands upon the double entry bookkeeping. Typically, this is based on two books or ledgers, debit and credit. So in a two-party transaction, the debit of the first person is the credit of the second one, and vice versa. For about 2,500 years, the world had this system to keep records of transactions. The method is still popular even nowadays, but lacks security. We often see discrepancies, and in general, it is not considered tamper-proof. In 1995, Ian Grigg expanded the model by adding a third book entry, namely a cryptographic receipt, that ensures that the two book entries, debit and credit, contain the same information. Ultimately, the cryptographic proof is recorded in at least three different ledgers, as in copies of something very, let's say, valuable, grandfather, father, and son copies. And the auditing process can be reduced to the presence or the absence of the receipt, so it simplifies the process. Triple entry accounting and multiple copies of the transactions, also known as distributed ledger technology, is what people know as blockchain these days.
Yes, of course. And I'm really glad that we're having this podcast now, because particularly over the last couple of weeks, there have been so many people discussing the risks associated with LLMs as they proliferate, such as intellectual property violations and malicious use. So could you tell us a little bit about how triple entry accounting can address these challenges?
All right, so large language models are now a popular companion in our everyday lives. However useful they might be, they can also be used for creating fraudulent emails, social engineering, spear phishing, and other malicious acts. This paper proposes triple entry accounting to create a verifiable audit trail of the interactions between users and large language models. The methodology consists of recording the user's input, which we call prompt, the large language model's output, which is the answer of what the large language model will provide, and a third entry on a distributed ledger technology medium, that ensures that the integrity of the records are as they should be. The third entry is generated by an algorithm that also pseudonymizes the record so that we can protect the privacy of the parties involved. The parties are the user, the large language model, and a public immutable record ledger, for example, a blockchain. The records are stored as entries on the blockchain, which can be accessed by anyone, thus enhancing transparency and accountability.
I'm really glad you mentioned pseudonymization, especially in the context of using public blockchains where, as you've just stated, records are transparent. There's a lot of concern at the moment around how data might be used in LLMs when people make particular queries or prompts. So could you just explain a little more about how pseudonymization works in this context and exactly why it's important?
Absolutely. So the method we propose is compliant with GDPR and maintains the privacy of the persons involved as per the principle described on the Chatham House rule, as we say. As the rule describes, is when a meeting or part thereof is held under the Chatham House rule, participants are free to use the information received, but neither the identity nor the affiliation of the speakers nor that any of other participants may be revealed. So the method produces a text file, which we call data record, that includes the hash of the API key that is used to parse the model, the text produced by the user query, and the response of the large language model. As a final step, the data record will be added as an entry on a blockchain. By using this method, the records can be kept in a pseudonymous manner, since there is no direct link to the user's identity, but only a hash of the API and the public key linked to the blockchain entry.
I really like that analogy of using Chatham House rules to this process. And you know, you've touched before on why blockchains are important in this process, but why is this particular data structure, a blockchain, so essential?
Well, we propose two methods in that paper of data storage in a blockchain. The first one is on-chain storage, and the second one is off-chain storage. On-chain storage practically stores directly data in the blockchain, resulting in a more expensive process due to the fees involved, depending on the blockchain, of course. Off-chain storage, on the other hand, only stores the metadata in the blockchain, resulting in less of a cost. So the determination of which storage method to use depends on the duration demanded by the auditing process. So if you want a fast auditing process, then you may have to choose only the metadata storage. The multiple copies of records, which is in essence triple entry accounting, provides record reliability, and the blockchain decentralization nature ensures the immutability of records.
Thank you for explaining the theory so clearly. Let's now turn our attention to practical applications of this technology. So, for example, how could this methodology help prevent the misuse of LLMs for something like generating malware or fake news?
In the case of blockchain storage, we must state that every record, while it is pseudonymous, it is also open access. Therefore, everybody can see it. Since it presents an immutable record, whatever is recorded remains there and practically remains forever. Based on the principle of nobody does malicious acts when they know they are being watched, the method presents an easy way to prevent people from using large language models for malicious activities. It is the analogy of the old myth ring of Gyges from Plato, if you ever heard of that.
Yes, brilliant. And Moving on to another very practical question. One of the challenges, of course, with the use of blockchain technology is scalability. So in terms of scalability, how do you see triple entry accounting being implemented broadly across industries? In your opinion, what challenges may arise from this?
Well, it's not a secret that the world is moving to a digitalized era, not only for large language models, but everything. The age of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, is coming, and it probably will be the norm within a decade from now. If double entry record keeping is maintained, there will be a time after some decades where the world will face the very same problems it is facing today. A digital currency will not change human habits and consequently will not solve the problems that the financial records have now. Some will argue that CBDCs will be backed by the trust and security of the government, but is this enough? We argue that the expansion of trust is needed, and we want a more robust economic system than what we have now. That expansion is dual, and it is intertwined between triple entry accounting and distributed ledger technology public records. A system of trust needs to be fully auditable by everyone, not only the issuer. So the answer to the question, who watches the watchers, must be all of us.
Thanks. Yes, that's a great reminder of our responsibilities in this area. And of course, that brings us on to the overall ethical implications of large language models. How do you think triple entry accounting contributes to promoting responsible AI development?
Okay, let me clarify here that this method doesn't work only for large language models. Imagine the internet evolving into a smarter, more interconnected network where everyday devices can communicate and transact independently. Web3 is building towards this vision by leveraging new internet technologies. Currently, most internet-connected devices are transitioning to a new addressing system, which is called IP version 6. It provides more unique addresses than IP version 4, which we had up until now. This system is also advanced, much more advanced than IP version 4, that each device can potentially have its own secure digital identity and the ability to make tiny financial transactions. So in the near future, Internet of Things devices like smart home appliances or industrial sensors could communicate directly with each other, conduct microtransactions worth fraction of a cent, using artificial intelligence to make independent decisions, operate with enhanced security and transparency. On the other hand, companies are developing this technology by combining advanced internet protocols, blockchain-based record-keeping systems, and digital currencies can be fully tracked and verified this way. The end goal is creating an internet of value, where devices aren't just communication tools, but intelligent, self-managing economic agents. This represents a significant leap from today's internet, more accountable, addressing societal concerns and finally transforming how humans and AI digital systems interact and exchange data, which is in essence value. At the same time, it prevents artificial intelligence misuse.
Thanks for that, because of course it places the growth of AI technologies inside the context of wider technological development, which is helpful. Moving on to the conference itself, you presented, of course, at the first TEA conference. Could you tell me why you decided to speak there and how you found the experience?
I decided to participate because I think this technology is potentially one of the most disruptive aspects towards the new AI-driven era. I was excited to talk with fellow academics and exchange ideas, and the papers that were presented there were extremely interesting. We enjoyed a great deal of hospitality by the organizers, and the whole atmosphere gave us a unique opportunity for discussions, I think, to all participants with a family-like warmth. It was amazing.
And you'll be there again, won't you? You'll be at the next Tea conference in April, right? What are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, I actually am currently preparing a paper which I would love to present to the conference. The theme has to do with the use of, among other methods, of course, the triple entry accounting technology to maintain personal privacy of students in a lifelong AI assisted education. And it also has to do with the privacy of records that may the school leak either accidentally, or one student will leak another student's personal data. I'm looking forward to listening to other innovative ideas as well, which can utilize this technology. I hope everything goes well, and I will be there in April.
Excellent. We look forward to it. Thank you, Kostas, for sharing your insights into how triple entry accounting can revolutionize the auditing of LLMs. It's clear from what you say that this methodology has the potential to address some of the most pressing challenges in AI ethics and security. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder, the second Triple Entry Accounting Conference is just around the corner on April 25th and 26th, 2025 in Malta. Don't miss this opportunity to explore groundbreaking innovations like Tea. Visit TEAconf.org to learn more and secure your spot. Thanks so much again, Kostas, for being with us, and thanks to our listeners for tuning in to TEAconf Talks. Join us in the next episode for another deep dive into the future of accounting and technology. See you in Malta.
Bye bye. Thank you.